Alright, good evening everybody. Hello and welcome to Hate Live. Welcome to the pre-stream. We will be starting within 10 minutes here. I will be starting at the very latest at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. We may even be starting a little bit earlier than that. I thank you very much for being here and joining me tonight for a great edition of Hate Live. As usual, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to be recapping a few things that I'm currently involved in right now, and I need to take your opinion on them. I'm going to be talking about the very, very soon things coming up, including new game tomorrow, and some changing of the Sunday schedule that's going to start next week, and basically moving into fall. We're going to talk about some leftover things from the summer that were ongoing issues with me, and I'm going to let you know the status of those and if they've been resolved and what is still kind of lingering. And then we're going to do a full fall gaming preview, meaning I'm going to go through the entire list of games during the fall season, the hardcore gaming season, that I am looking to play. And where do you hear how many there are? Because there's no less, I should count quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 20, about 27 games. And it's going to be a daunting task. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's going to be quite the daunting task to get through all these games. And I'm hoping that I can handle it. I'm hoping that some of these games are actually good, unlike a lot of the disappointing games that have come out recently and pretty much have been huge flops for one reason or another. And, you know, people just not really enjoying, quite honestly, my content, because if I'm playing a bad game or a game that's boring, it doesn't translate into a good playthrough. And I understand that. I'm fully aware that there really hasn't been any grade A stuff from me in weeks, if not months, because there haven't been any games really that translate well into it. Okay? I'm not stupid. So I'm hoping that that's going to change with all these new releases coming out shortly. In addition to that, after we're done with that, we're going to take a break, because I get the feeling just going through that segment is going to take quite a long time just to discuss all that stuff. Okay? We're going to come back from the break, and we're going to be doing a Back in the Day segment. This Back in the Day segment is going to be concerning my high school employment years. Yes. During the time when I was a young teenager, I was seeking employment, and I found it in the one place that basically would hire someone when I was really young. And I ended up staying there on and off all throughout high school and even part of my college experience as a place of employment. And it's a unique experience, number one, working in fast food, and number two, working at the mall. Okay? It really is. Because it's weird. It's employment, but at the same time, it's kind of like not taking a serious employment. But I've got stories to tell you that you guys will be going to probably laugh. You're probably going to cringe when you hear some of the things that you hear about fast food. Well, I can confirm some of those stories. Yeah. It's going to be quite an interesting Back in the Day segment, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it because it is so different from, you know, a lot of the other stuff that I talk about. Some funny, so I got some 2 or 3 particular funny stories that I think will be quite interesting for you. So, all that being said, then we're going to have one more break, and then I will try to take some callers tonight. Again, if I go too long, unfortunately, we won't have callers, or we'll have an abridged caller segment. I know that a lot of people, the last episode of Hate Live 2 weeks ago, wanted to call in, and they didn't get a chance. Because I didn't have time. The 2 segments that I ran and the last Hate Live went extra long and ended up taking up the entire show. So it is ultimately my goal here to try and make it so that there is time for live callers at the end. We'll have to see what happens with that. Okay, everybody? So, I'm excited, as you guys know. Okay? As you guys know, I am very excited for doing Hate Live. I love doing the show. Because this is a show where instead of me playing a game and just doing commentary over it, or, you know, the usual stuff that I do on a daily basis, I get to actually talk to you. directly. I get to tell you about my life. I get to tell you about what's going on, tell you about my plans for new content, what games I'm really looking forward to. In fact, that's primarily one of the big things about this fall preview. I'll get to tell you guys some of the games that I'm really looking forward to the most, and I'm probably going to tell you guys some games that are possibly on the chopping block due to the fact that there's so many games coming out that I might not have time to play certain ones, and I may not have as much interest in certain ones as I do in others. So, I love this, and I'm glad that you guys come out, you know, every week. Well, it's not every week. It's, you know, when I can do it. Let's face it. You know, sometimes, especially during the hardcore gaming season, I get so backed up with games that I find it hard to take the time out to do Hate Live. And I'm not naive. I know that probably coming up in the next few weeks with all the game releases coming out, that may very well be the case. I may not be able to do Hate Live as often as I'd like to. I actually may have to forego doing it a few weeks because we're in the middle of so many playthroughs that I just have to keep pushing forward. Okay? But there's a lot to talk about. You know? There's a lot to talk about, and that's why I like talking on Hate Live. I have made an effort, a concerted effort, by the way, the past 2 weeks, since last we had a Hate Live, when I made you that promise, remember? Or was that 3 weeks ago now? Actually, I think that was 3 weeks ago. If you remember, I promised you that, no, it was 2 weeks ago now. I can't even remember anymore. But anyway, I promised you that I was going to have shorter pre-streams, that my pre-streams were going to have some personal stuff, but mostly would be gaming-related, and we're going to divert too much from gaming-related topics, and then I was going to try to save the personal stuff for Hate Live, okay? And that, you know, I wasn't basically going to sit here and bitch about views every day on pre-stream, which I was doing for quite some time there. You guys don't care about that. You guys are here to watch the content. Obviously, if you're on the stream watching, if you're on YouTube watching, it's because, you know, you enjoy the content and you're here to support me. You don't want to hear me bitching about how bad things are in one regard or another. Now, so I will try to do that stuff. If I'm going to do personal life stuff, I'll try to do it on Hate Live. That's kind of the purpose of the show, and keep it off of the pre-stream. So I hope that for the most part, you guys feel that I've stuck to that commitment. I'm sure there's probably 1 or 2 moments where I went off a little too long on a pre-stream, or I mentioned something personal because I wanted to explain why I was late, and some people took it the wrong way and said, "Oh, Phil's mentioning personal stuff again." But for the most part, I think I've stuck to that, and I hope that you guys are liking the change so far. Okay. And all right, so that's pretty much going to be it. I don't want to dilly-dally any further. Like I said, I want shorter pre-streams, and we got a 2-hour show that we have to finish. You know, I want to get it done on time. So without further ado, I say we'll end the pre-stream. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen, with Hate Live. Thanks very much for being here tonight live. Undoubtedly, as we continue, more and more people will join the stream, and it's going to be a good show. So thanks for coming, and let's get the show on the road.